Okay, welcome back. All aboard. It is Semitrans on How Not to Game with Kelly Jack. This is the Devil's Towers Fixit 1969 game sessions, episode 32. Sorry for the slight fade out there. Just trying to move my chair forward. Bend over to do that. I'm old, what can I say? All right, we're looking at trying to get our industries growing because frankly, we haven't had industry growth since 69. It's 75. Time to start spurring some more industry growth. And one way we can do that is to go back to our basics and both streamline, as we found out, an existing setup, which is what I'm doing here. I'm taking out all the curves, narrowing it down so that there's one jog and the two climbs and one curve versus the two climbs and one, two, three, four curves. So that's a lot better flow on that line. Let's go ahead and clean this line out. Abandon away that railway. Totally abandon it. Tear out the track each time. There we go. So the other thing I want to look at is which kind of an engine I had on that. And I had a pretty hefty engine on that train. We're running an H-Trans BR212. So going to our vehicles, just to get a taste of what the various vehicles were. I'm also going to show the obsoletes. So unfortunately, it's going to be a longer list than before. But this is going to wind up being, I think, a train that's either near or at its time of retirement. And we're going for a retire date. That might be a better bet to take a peek at and see. So the Abros, nope, that BR212 is good to go until 2004. And he can actually pack a lot more power behind him than what he's pulling right now in the way of waste. I just didn't see a need to put more in. Another problem I have is I went down here, which was a mistake and yet not a mistake. That gets some speed going. I don't mind slowing down a little bit more coming into the station, but we are going to lengthen out that station, put a slightly longer platform in. I'm not going to speed up the track because, one, this is waste. Looking at our goods and showing only the ones we use. Waste, $8 per 100 tiles. No speed bonus. That means there's also no speed penalty, which is great. That means we're always going to get the $8. And so let's send this guy back to the depot. And we'll send him back next trip and extend his line a little bit. I do want to do a dig out and straighten him out a little bit so that he's not doing quite as many turns and everything that he does, including some sharp ones he's got in his that we may want to eliminate coming from bare bones recycling. So he's almost back to the depot. Let's get up here to that depot so we can catch on it. Once he's in the depot. Let's see what we can do and how many more cars we can put behind him. Well, looks like we can fill up that whole 4. And that'll take me a lot longer run. Now we can start looking at fixing the other line down the road. Another thing to look at is what all comes in here. There's 4 of them. We've got who being served right now. So we know there's 4. Our connections are to Ashwell for workers, and then we've got Skip Tracer Scassers, which is Skippy Scrappers, and Bare Bones. We've got Junk and Hunks and Trashaway Teds. We can start connecting into that as well now. And that's something to think about. But we're not going to think about that right away. First things first, it's time to see about who this is. And this is Junk and Hunks. So, how to get him over there? Do I want to do the dual lining? Do I want to start streamlining him? Because, I mean, that's a long run, and I can probably get away with some streamlining. But I think dual lining in this stretch right here is a good idea. In fact, I'm going to dual line to there. And now we will see the possibilities. And one possibility is right there. So let's get the straightened line in first. And a straightened line is going to look more like what I'm about to do, which is we're going to bring him across here, do a diagonal to get him free of the town. There, kind of like that. And that should be good. Now we just need to extend the road a little bit so we can do a rail across it. Do that low speed sleepers and sand rail. Go ahead and connect that in. All right, so unfortunately there is a double back, but I ain't gonna worry. Distance is what matters, not speed or anything here. Next up is how to get it up onto that next level. Now there's a straightaway right there that allows us to do a cut there and then a pretty straight run there. Yeah. And that's going to get rid of one sharp and one easy turn for 2 turns, 3 turns total. And if we really do it right, like that, we just took out a huge chunk. And now let's get rid of some of this rail. Clearing that out. Next up is how to get over to about here. And this is kind of where I want to have the rail running. So one, I want to extend out. I want to have a little bit more room on him from that. We're going to make this a double line right in here. And we're going to see how far I can extend that double line. To get him by this. And right there, that tells me we've got a good spot. We're going to go ahead and blow some trees in advance so that we can see what we're doing, kind of. There we go. And we'll throw some fill back over here to make up the cut we just built. Connect him there. Connect to him here. Do that. And we eliminated 2 turns there for a 1 and a 1 into a siding. Now it's time to consider a wider slope here. So I want to extend this slope to about there. And I need to smooth out that slope. So we can eliminate that little jog. Now it's just the jog for the siding, which is a straighter run. Take out this run. We now have a little bit more cleaner run with longer space in between. We do need to consider in a couple of spots having some sidings. And I don't mind having a split siding every once in a while. It's one thing I'm not as worried about as other folks. Extend these guys out a little bit more, because we do know that we're going to be running 4-length trains. And I really only need 2 initially platforms there for delivery. We are now officially on the second pot of coffee. And no, I still can't face the day. Another siding good spot would be right here. Take out that extra piece of line. Get them signals. Make certain he's facing away from me there and facing towards me. You can see that little bit of red right there. Kind of just beyond, just to the left of my, or the right now of my cursor. So take out the trees just to show you that. There he is. That's facing, so this train goes this way on this line and this way on this side. Same in all the others. Make certain all the sidings did get done right. Can't afford to have mistakes. And at some point we'll be able to start putting pass points here and here. All right. Now with that done, we can put 2 more signals. We need a 2-way signal on this and a 2-way signal on this. There is a break. See that break? Right there above the magnifying glass. I got stops on each side. 2 red ones do that, and they're no longer there. That's connected in. Now we can put in a platform over here. Again, I want a 4-length platform here. So I am going to need to extend the rail a little bit. He is close enough. He's going to grab from junkyard. And now it's dispatch a new train. And unfortunately, that's going to cost us a lot of money to get a train out. So let's see what sort of train locomotives we have still. Again, I'm not worried about speed. It was nice to have the 100 kilometers an hour. But that's a lot of price. Whereas if we come down to this and put 2 of these, we're only at $8 versus 12. 800 times 1.8, we actually have more power. Because of the gearings. I'm betting, you know what, I was right. We might be able to take the cost down on these trains by going to these 60 clicker trains. Not as fast, maybe, but at the same time. Oops, schedule. Gotta have a schedule. Let's go ahead and bring these guys over. He's coming from here at a 100% load. And we're going to take him to the near one on him. Individual line. This is the hunk of trash junkers. We're at Trashy Generations, so that's a good spot to be at. And launch him out. So now there's 3 going, and we need to start considering getting folks to take a move around this community here. So that's going to be a road issue. Switch to the road. We won't need landscape. I don't need the lists for a minute. And we won't need that depot for a few minutes. Now, Pauling is actually a pretty good community. And Pauling B would like to get to Mallowfield. They would like to get to Springmouth and Paulingfield to an extent, but Springmouth more and Rendon more. But really wants to get to Mallowfield. So down the road, we're going to need a train line, a passenger line, that will build as passenger stations here to continue on the flow. Let's go ahead and do a few things, though. First things, we need to get some bus service going. Now, we've got the ruins, or the famous church, with marvelous paintings, generates 40 passengers through tourism, and they can generate 40 mail, as well as all the workers who work at the scrapyard. So, I want to make certain one of these connects directly into the scrapyard and covers town hall. I want to get this guy here kind of like this, so that he covers all of that area. Put one out here, and then I think one here to cover the rest of the town. Between those 4 stops, we just covered the whole town. Everybody can walk the distances in between. We're not fat, lazy Americans in this game, apparently. I swear Americans, if they have to walk further than halfway down their driveway, they're having a conniption fit. And I'm an American. I'm also an American who rides his bicycle everywhere, including the grocery store. Also need to get some stuff going out here at Barron Cross so that we can start increasing production. Again, we've got a whole bunch of people. And then we can connect up to communities, first with buses and then with other styles. So, a rapid fire, get the buses laid, stops laid, do one there for the core of town, one over here. That guy did catch the famous church. There's another church that's going to get us some money. Then I think one there. That'll cover most of the town for now. Again, a 4-stop town. Next town over is Pineville. We've already got bus service there. We're just going to connect into it at a later point. And there is a bus terminal right here, the Old Scratch Barn. Old Scratch Bus Barn, and we're going to dispatch out of Old Scratch. And we're going to send out not what we're doing. We're going to send out some bikes. We're going to buy 4 Ikes. No, 2 Ikes. And then we will do 2 H trans. There we go. So let's start with the Ike, get the first Ike going. We're going to send him all the way over to polling bee. Whoops, and we of course screwed up and shut the garage. We can close the limiter there, or the bar, the toolbar there. We're going to schedule this guy, and this is going to be just a straightforward zigzag route with a copy backwards. And this is the polling bee prima donna. And we're going to say that it's an Icarus, that we cheated and put an Icarus out at a late point. Even though it's an H-trans bus, that was a mistake. We got the wrong bus. Revert changes. Okay. Thank goodness. Okay, so this one needs to go from here to town hall. I kind of want to go town halls to town halls. Paul B. Barcross. Something that indicates motion. Porter stage line. Now, I should, there's an Icarus, have an Icarus that we can put, and I'm hoping it didn't eliminate that. Okay, I think we've got it. Now we can take and set up the bus here in town. This is again the Ike. Make certain I'm on the Ike Icarus. Yep. He's going to do this. And a copy backwards. The bar crooks. Bar crooks bones bus. Now we'll call it the bonnet bus. Even though it's an Icarus, we're not going to take a market this time. All right, close that out, close that out. Now we can launch him. Then the last H-trans will be the one between Pineville, where we're going to go from, Pineville Town Hall over to the same Town Hall stop there. And we're just going to call that the Bear Pine stage line. Close that out, and launch him. We're a little over, it's about 25 minutes on this one. Hey, hope you're having a better day than I'm having. I'm Cali Jack. And be safe whether you're working, playing, or just lazing about.